Everyone, welcome to another episode. This is the 19th episode of CoinNewsExtra Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Virtual Panel Discussion. It is a program where we invite stakeholders, enthusiasts in the ecosystem to come and discuss about matters arising. So today we'll be talking about blockchain application in the telecom sector, importance and the future. So joining us today to talk about this interesting topic, we have personalities from this space. We have Wasim Jackas. Wasim Jackas is a 4G, 5G telecom professional. Wasim, you are welcome to CoinNewsExtra.
Thank you, Lee. It's a pleasure to have you on your panel.
You are welcome. It's our pleasure to have you. So also joining us is Punit Kumar. Punit Kumar is a blockchain and IT expert. Punit, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for giving the opportunity to discuss about this concept. Myself, Puneet Kumar. I am CEO of Matix Technology, and I am doing all the business development as well as blockchain-based new invention. I am a blockchain enthusiast and analyze what is happening in the market. I am working towards that, and I am doing lot of invention, lot of things, new trending concepts in the blockchain, and I am working together.
Okay, thank you very much. It's our pleasure to have you. So we are also proud of our sponsors, MTech, Nemidis, and Miami University Blockchain. So I am the moderator, Lee. So going straight to the topic of the day, blockchain, we've been able to know what blockchain is and how it's shaping the financial sector. So people think it's only in the financial sector that blockchain is applicable. So that's why we came up because of the important role that the telecom sector is playing in this transformation, digital transformation. So that's why we came up to know how blockchain will play a role. So today's topic is blockchain application in the telecom sector. So we want to know the importance of blockchain to the telecom sector and the future it has. So the first question we're going to be asking is, what are some of the challenges, before we can talk about how blockchain can come in? We want to know some of the challenges facing the telecom sectors, ranging from security and billing. So, Wasim, let me start with you.
Sure. It's a very interesting topic, actually. Telecommunications has been evolved very quickly in the last 5 to 10 years. We moved from 3G to 4G. Now we're moving from 4G to 5G. I'm sure yourself and all of our audience are aware and hearing about all the 5G buzz that's taking place in the world right now and all the upgrades that are taking place. So this is very good news for telecom in general. And telecommunications is, plays from the economic ecosystem as the main levers for the digital transformation that is taking place right now. However, for the telecom industry itself is still facing many challenges when it comes to the digitization itself. Even though telecom is a main contributor and main pillar in the digital transformation, the telecom industry itself is facing many challenges when it comes to self-governing the digital transformation itself. An example to that, maybe I'll give about 4 or 5 quick examples. Telecommunications in general as an ecosystem, internally and externally, they are extremely centralized when it comes to configuration, when it comes to decision-making and self-governance. So it's extremely centralized, which renders the agility of the telecommunication industry compromised. And now we're speaking a lot about the agility and about agile capabilities. So telecom needs to move away from the centralization of decision-making and centralization of configurations, especially in the cloud era. And telecommunications is one of the main beneficiaries of the cloud and the cloudifications that is taking place. That's one example. Another example is basically through the digital transformation itself and the ICT innovation that is taking place, telecommunication industry need to focus a lot on some very strong cross-functional interfaces, and those cross-functional interfaces that will help in the agility of this digital transformation. Those cross-functional interfaces will need some tools to maintain the security, the integrity, the trust of those cross-functional interfaces, and those cross-functional interfaces need at the same time to be self-governing. And the telecommunication industry still have some way to go on the space. Another challenge is basically the boom in the subscribers, millions and millions of subscribers, new products, bundling, customization of products that is taking place with the 5G and the new verticals that are emerging. This challenge actually is vital for the longevity of the telecommunications industry, and it creates a big challenge from order fulfillment, from billing, from revenue assurance and fraud management, real-time billing, and it's creating a whole new complex layer to be managed and creating operational complexities, and these operational complexities will need tools in order to increase the efficiency and decrease the financial burden.
Okay.
I would touch about maybe a couple more very quickly on these challenges, which basically related to the emergence of threats. Telecommunication industry needs to seek openness, needs to have open access networks on Wi-Fi, on other external networks that are not inherent and native for their own infrastructure. Again, in order to be part of this digital transformation that is taking place and the open access systems. When it comes to this challenge, actually, again, this is a very important topic to touch upon because it will create a serious security concerns for the telecommunications industry, especially with the emergence of new threats that we have been seeing recently. And in order to manage these security threats and exposure, a big number of operational and technical involvement is needed in order to meet customer security and to secure the systems. In order to do that also, a big transformation and investment and transformation is needed in the telecom industry.
Okay.
Lastly but not least is actually the IoT, Internet of Things. Again, with the evolution towards 5G, we're expecting millions and millions of connections, actually billions of connections and connected devices that will come on the telecommunications infrastructure. When all these billions of devices are coming in, we will be dealing with a multitude of new data sources, with trillions and zillions of data sources that's coming in, with petabytes and zettabytes of data to be dealt with. And in order to deal with this effectively, a new realm that is basically self-governing and with zero touch and trust, the factor of trust and the currency of trust needs to be created and instigated in those connections in order to have it functioning effectively and efficiently. So I try to summarize the main challenges that are facing the telecom industry in the coming period with the digital transformation that's coming across.
You've done justice to that. Too neat, you've been able to hear him. I don't know if you have some contribution to that, some of the challenges facing the telecom sector.
Yeah, I like and completely agree the point which previously Mr. Wazim shared. Basically, I have a personal experience. I work on a proof of concept for a telecom industry previously. So I know what are the challenges they are facing, as well as currently what is happening in the market, what are the situation telecom industry is going through, and what are the ways they have to challenges they have to overcome from the issues currently they are facing, because of there are a lot of things happening in voice, videos, data theft, and a lot of internet connectivity issues, as well as a lot of attacks happening in the voice calls and other things happening in the infrastructure already created, like getting wrong voice calls and a lot of things, data connectivity issues, and they have to overcome. First of all, this is the main basic integration issues, as well as tower problem, and overall they are having the customer satisfaction level. If you check with any other telecom industry, they said that they have just like the average, above average, or there is no company is providing 100% satisfied level for the customers. So first of all, we have to work in telecom industry in the sense they have to working on both. Currently they are in a completely centralized way, so this is the right time to they have to changes to the decentralized way, so that they can able to easily connect with the customers directly, and they can able to understand what the customer exact issues happening. So there are a lot of technology upgradation is happening, like as Wasim said previously, 3G, 4G, 5G, IoT, lot of things is happening. So, but the satisfaction level of the customer is still in the backlog, as well as security threat. Currently in the telecom industry, like data thefting, data adding, cross voice recording, and blah blah things is happening. So for overcoming that, we have to move with some other technology upgradation and other stuff. Like we have to protect our network from attacking from third-party websites, third-party agencies, and we have to overcome what are the six ways we have to upgrade our bandwidth, and how come you're going to give a proper customer services. If you give the proper customer service, telecom industry, currently usage of the telecom industry or upcoming years, it's going to be one of the basic necessity product, like water, petrol, like that way, because every day it's mingled with our blood. So without internet connection, or without data, or without discussion or chatting, we can't able to survive. So telecom industry is a basic thing, but we have to, first of all, we have to focus on the security, customer retention, as well as the attacks. That means we have to give each telecom industry have to give a complete what I would say. Telecom industry complete give the customer this site is completely secure website, sorry, secure network, and your data won't be give for some other thing for advertisement, or what are the things which is happening currently in the market. So we have to protect the customer usability, and they have to give a customer 100% satisfied rate. Automatically the telecom industry will automatically increasing. So this is the initial breach of they are detecting with the issues, and we have to overcome. And these are the issues currently telecom industries, because this is a huge investment business. So so the giving the investment, they give a proper services and a proper support and a proper protection and security threats. If they overcome, it's going to be a good thing for us. So that thing they are currently facing the issues.
Okay, thank you very much. We've been able to know some of the major challenges facing the telecom sector. So now we want to go into how can blockchain be able to play a role in the blockchain in the telecom sector, most especially coming from the challenges that are facing the telecom sector. Puneet, stay with you. Let me start with you. What are the advantages of applying blockchain in the telecom sector?
Yeah, sure. Basically advantage in the sense, first of all, we have to over important. What are the things we have to give importance to the customers by the way of giving avoid human error, frauds, lack of transparency. So they have to overcome from the error happening in the telecom. That means the human error happening in the data transmission, or we have to give a proper roaming settlement, as well as fraud, lack of transparency. Company can able to monitor all things happen in their business premises in the decentralized way, because currently it's not in that way. If any of the customer is facing, the company, that means telecom company, can't even to understand what the customer is facing the issue. They are doing their something different, as well as we are doing in some other way. So they have to monitor all the quick customer retention, so that only they can able to overcome. As well as we have to give a tamper-proof verifiable transaction and a real-time usage for the customer. They will give a proper real-time usage to the update for the customers, like what other telecom industry providers are currently doing. As well as we have to using this thing, we have blockchain for their KYC verification. Like we will give a 100% KYC customer completely monitor, not dependent on the third party agent. It will be used on the leakage risk. We have to protect the leakage risk of customer personal data for KYC verification and other steps what they are following. If we implement it in the blockchain industry, we can able to overcome easily by misusing of the customer data or some other way. As well as third point, we are using that we can able to proceed for currently telecom industry is doing like payment transfer using that money to money transfer using a network. That means the same telecom industry telecom network, they can able to the same operator, they can able to transfer the fund from using the blockchain technology. Means it will be much more faster and safer as a decentralized way. Like we can have act as a mobile number as a bank, like similar mobile number for transfer. So it will be easier to currently it's in the centralized way, but if it in a decentralized way, it will be much more better, like what the blockchain industry is doing. As well as the data management, the data management is completely encrypted, and it won't be used for any other unwanted purposes. So the data management is much more given priority. So these are the things as per my understanding on this, what are the industries in the blockchain, if implemented in the blockchain, what are the importance they given to the telecom sector in the sense? First of all, roaming and settlement. That means proper way of avoid human error, fraud, lack of transparency, as well as we have to provide a tamper-proof verification transaction for each transaction happen in the industry to avoid the security loophole in the network, as well as identity management. It will be avoid KYC, that means KYC and user level data misuse leakage risk, as well as third one, we can able to using that network, we can able to use a payment model which will be much more secure and decentralized way. For customer to customer, they can able to use our network. Currently, Airtel Money and lot of things are they are doing currently. But we have to much. If you go with the blockchain, it will be much more closer to the network, and we can able to use a lot of other things using this way of payment financial system, as well as final most data management system. Data management system is we can able to use secure data, and we can able to protect the data. So it will be much more safer than currently what they are in now.
Puneet, thank you very much. Wasim, what's your take on that? How can blockchain be fused to the telecom sector?
Sure. See, I agree with what has been mentioned by our colleague Puneet. Maybe I would start with positioning blockchain in the telecom sector overall with a statement. The blockchain can play a vital role as a broker and as a service configurator in a decentralized manner in the telecom industry, with a tamper-proof and with a trust currency between all stakeholders involved in a transaction. The stakeholders can be CSP to CSP, which means operator to operator, or it could be even operator to his end customers, end users at the end of the time. So through that channel, blockchain can play a very important role in mitigating the challenges that I came across earlier in my description at the beginning of our broadcast. So we can come on a component related to the BSS and OSS layers in the telecom industry itself. Blockchain can play a very important role in decentralizing the BSS and OSS layers between the players and stakeholders benefiting and using these interfaces, and can create a lot of efficiency and effectiveness in settling transactions between stakeholders. A very clear example that our friend Puneet came across is roaming. Roaming right now is one of the major bottlenecks for operators, because it involves a lot of settlement, especially data roaming, a lot of settlement, real-time billing issues, data clearing houses, billing clearing houses, bill shock for the end users. Blockchain immediately can play a very important role in breaking those barriers for a bigger adoption in roaming, and specifically data roaming, because we know that we're talking about now the world has become a big village. Yes, it is a big village with the data, the internet, but for mobile subscribers, the cost of roaming in many places is still prohibitive due to the whole overhead related to these elements involved. By introducing a blockchain as an engine of trust, an engine of configuration between operators, all of the hassles of settlement, data clearing houses, service configuration can be mitigated and can be implemented in a seamless way using smart contracts and using probes at the both ends of the networks, then the settlement and the transaction and the configuration of the service can happen automatically in real-time scenario with minimum exposure and with trust factor between both the players. So transaction can be done, can be executed in a real-time, seamless way, and both settlements happen in a very real-time, seamless way, and both operators will be able to execute the service, and at the end user will be able to benefit from a seamless roaming experience. And we will remove the overhead of data clearing houses and settlements. So there's a major benefit in implementing blockchain in the roaming services. And I think companies are starting to jump on these opportunities. And I believe that companies who will be able to create a global blockchain of data clearing house and roaming settlement will reap the benefit of this niche market very, very, very quickly. Another important aspect is actually revenue assurance and fraud management. Telecommunications company invest a lot in engines and systems that will actually guarantee revenues and prevent fraud and revenue leakages in their systems. Again, blockchain here can play a very vital and important role in actually creating a self-governing engine with tamper-proof capabilities and real-time capabilities that will minimize to a greater extent the exposure of fraud and exposure to revenue leakages associated with billings and CDRs generated from telecommunications platform and the core networks associated with the telecommunications platform. So that's another aspect where blockchain can immediately play a major role and decrease costs and increase efficiencies for telecommunication providers. Another important factor, as I came across in my discussion previously, is actually security. Security is extremely, extremely important. And here blockchain also can play a very important role by mitigating the risk of spoofing and identity cloning and SIM cloning that has been taking place in many parts of the world. Especially now, we have the eSIM that has been introduced with Apple, with Samsung, with all the major handset manufacturers. Again here, the blockchain engine, again being a currency of trust, tamper-proof, and being decentralized in nature, and it can be implemented in permissioned and in permissionless configuration depending on who are the stakeholders contributing on that specific blockchain. Of course, operators who are more, I would say, protective of their data, they can still have the option to create a permissioned blockchain, and they can still leverage and benefit from the robustness of a blockchain network from tamper-proof perspective, and create an engine that will mitigate and almost cancel the possibility of SIM cloning and identity spoofing that is taking place in the industry right now. Another service that can be introduced is actually identity as a service, and we see a lot of articles right now and discussions taking place about the digital identity and blockchains that are being adopted on government level in order to create a digital identity. When it comes to identity cards, even passports itself, where basically your mobile with a simple code that is embedded in your mobile that is again tamper-proof with public keys and private keys. Your private key will be always with you, and the public key can be presented on the audience or the end users in order to protect your identity in a fully encrypted manner. So identity as a service here is a very important aspect that telecommunications, being that everybody has a mobile right now, can be used as an identity service, and again can help in the digital transformation that is taking place, e-government initiatives that are taking place. Identity as a service is a major component. Lastly, I would come also on the IoT connectivity, the Internet of Things, the massive connections, the massive connectivity, as I described earlier, with the introduction of 5G and the boom in the connectivity of devices, billions and billions of devices are coming across. Again, security will become extremely important in this case. And we know about blockchains that are already available publicly right now that are specifically designed to deal with the likes of the Internet of Things. Maybe I could mention Iot and others that are very well famous right now that are specifically designed to deal with all these devices that are sending millions and billions of transactions and data records that can be dealt with in a very effective, tamper-proof, and secure and trustworthy manner, with zero touch, with no need of a human intervention, and with a self-governing mechanism that are underlying. So these are opportunities that are evident, and we're not talking here about efficiency, about the opportunities that are probably long fetch, because this is where are the challenges of blockchain, and the companies and industries who are trying to adopt a blockchain, who have the perception that blockchain is still nascent and the benefits of blockchain are still far-fetched. The opportunities that I have just described are actually concrete opportunities that within months companies can reap the benefits of adopting these technologies, and the underlying platforms and blockchains are mature enough to host these kind of services and capabilities.
Thank you very much. In case you are just joining us, this is CoinNewsExtra virtual blockchain and cryptocurrency panel discussion. So joining us today as panelists, they are people that are experienced in the telecom sector. We have Punit, Kumar, and Wazim Jaka. So for our audience, in case you have questions for them, you can still drop it at the comment section. For those who are joining us on Facebook, we are not able to pick your questions yet. We are working on that. Maybe in subsequent editions, we'll be able to pick questions from Facebook. And for now, we'll be picking questions from Zoom Live. So briefly, our time is counting down. Wazim, still with you. You've been able to mention some of the benefits blockchain, and there have been many debates about blockchain. People are trying to say blockchain is 99% tamper-proof, but there have been some debate that blockchain, that there are some lapses associated with blockchain. So what are those? Are there some lapses associated with blockchain? What are those lapses, and how can they be taken care of?
Sure. Look, with every innovation, with every emerging technology, there will be challenges associated with it at the end of the time. So I would start with something that the telecom industry is notorious about, which is standards. Telecom industry is all about standard and standardization. We have the 3GPP, we have the 5G, and all these organizations behind the standardization, which is again, is something that is very good in order to create platforms that can communicate through and cross platforms. The thing with the blockchain right now, with all the initiatives and different blockchains that are taking place, blockchain launches that are taking place, it is still lacking standardization, which is counterintuitive for the telecommunications industry, and renders many of the major telcos that want to jump on the blockchain wagon probably a little bit reluctant that, okay, what about the standardization? But here, both players have to come in place. I think GSMA, with its power as being the most important, highest authority governing body for the telecommunications standardization, of course, the ITU also from the other side, can hold hands with the major blockchain platforms like the Ethereum Association, like other consensus, in order to create a cross-platform standardization for the adoption and utilization of blockchain. That could be perceived as one of the hindrances, major hindrances for the adoption of blockchain in the telecommunication industry. Another thing is the regulatory frameworks. Again, telecommunications is a heavily regulated body in many parts of the world. And when it comes to regulation, blockchain is again perceived as a platform or means to commit fraud, which is again actually counterintuitive. Blockchain is totally for something different. Actually, blockchain is secure, but that's the perception. So here there is a lot of effort that needs to be put and worked on in order to create a proper regulatory framework for a proper introduction and marriage between the telecommunication industry and the blockchain industry.
Okay.
And operators, especially major operators, have to break the silos that they are working in.
Okay, sorry, I have to cut you short. Punit, what's your take on that? We are trying to round up just briefly.
Okay. Basically, the points which I said is much more important for what are the things that currently challenges of happening in the telecom industry. The thing is, first of all, apart from updating the technology and what are the things happening in the industry, adaptability towards the technology, towards the people, make the people to move towards the adaptability towards the technology is one of the major things we have to focus, because whatever the technology is happening, migration towards the technology is, if you check with the compare with the people which are happening in the market, it's very less. So first of all, we have to ensure what technology we are going to adapt, and what are the difficulties in the we are facing in the technology. So we have to be straight. We will plan accordingly, as well as the currently the methods and the which is happening in the telecom industry is totally changed if you move to blockchain industry. So if you move with the blockchain industry, it's totally decentralized way. We have to cut intermediate, and we have to overcome what are the things it will be benefited, as well as how come it's going to be challenges, how come you're going to associate to developing the application which will be supporting to the supporting and increasing the usability on the telecom sector. So first of all, my point is, firstly, people, the user, means D2C, the people, consumer, how come they're going to be relate yourself, how the telecom industry got to, how to focus to make this technology to make usable to the people, those who are the customers, because they are developing these models and application, everything for the particular user, because it's for the favor of the users, as well as they reduce the cost cutting and increasing the revenue model. That's what these people, all the technology people are focusing towards the blockchain technology, because it's a way to generate cost cutting all the payment intermediators, vendors, and other stuff in this happening inside the industry. So it will be directing gain more more profit, or more earn more lot, giving a proper services, more usability and more durability to the customer. So this is the way main focuses. So for that, they have to focus a lot of things, and they can't able to simultaneously install, implement, improve all the things simultaneously. They have to move with the side by side. What happening while 2G, what happening the 3G technology upgradation, what are the things happening 4G currently, and what are the things in upper future.
Okay.
So they have to
Punit.
focus on the slight way.
Okay, thank you very much. Lastly, just in 1 minute, let me start with you. Wazim, how do you see the future of telecom with the application of blockchain in 1 minute?
Yeah,
Sure.
first of all,
Sorry, was it for me
It's
or for
Wazim. Wazim, go ahead, Wazim.
okay.
All right. So, what I believe, in a very probably simple and concise manner, is that blockchain is going to become and be positioned as one of the main engine that will facilitate and contribute to the digital transformation of the telecommunication industry, being a decentralized engine of trust and tamper-proof uh, capabilities, inherent capabilities of the blockchain. Blockchain is strongly positioned to become one of the main engines contributing toward the successful digital transformation of the telecommunications industry with the introduction of 5G and the new radio access networks that are coming in the near future.
Okay, Punit, what's your take?
Yeah, first of all, there are a lot of new things is happening in the blockchain industry in the future in the telecom. Like I have a short and sweet 5 point, that means roaming and settlement, identity management. This is the major two things, as well as SLA monitoring. What is the legals and legalization bonds, everything in the decentralized way, as well as we can able to use using this technology, we can able to prevent phone theft by way of identify management, as well as we can easily switch over from one operator to another operator using mobile number portability. So everything we can able to do on the decentralized way, as well as it make me very faster, and user can able to give much more pleasure experience for the user.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see if we can, we have some questions, but let's just pick one and answer because of our time. This one is saying from Malivel, can this application of blockchain in telecom reduce the costs charge we do experience in normal telecom? Anybody can answer it. Do you, You say, can this application of blockchain in telecom reduce the cost charge we do experience in normal telecom?
I can probably take that question, Lee.
Okay, go ahead.
Eventually, yes. The immediate benefit that we can take from telecom is actually roaming costs. Roaming costs by the application of blockchain will be dramatically reduced. I'm pretty much confident about that. For normal telecom costs, eventually it will lead to a drop in the cost and charge because of the overhead associated to operate those systems that are which have their cost embedded in the products at the end of the time will be reduced. So eventually it will end up by a reduction of the charge towards the end customer. That is true, and that will eventually happen.
Okay, Punit, do you have any take on that?
Yeah, because updating the technology is always we people are focusing to reduce the cost, but not only for operator side as well as for the consumer side. Because if we implement it in the blockchain technology, surely it will reduce the cost. Because currently the traditional way or something is centralized way it's happening. So the intermediator as well as the technology updation, lot of times is taking much more time, as well as a lot of costing you have to spend for these type of things. But if you do in the decentralized way, surely it will reduce the cost.
Okay, thank you very much. We are proud and we are glad to show in appreciation to our sponsors. This program is proudly sponsored by MTech Technologies, Nimedis, and Miami University Blockchain. So we are also grateful to our participants who took our time to join us on today's edition. Thank you very much. I'm so much grateful to our panelists, Wazim Jakas, for joining us. Wazim, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We are so grateful to you, Punit Kumar. Punit, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for your.
Okay, bye-bye.